Welcome everyone to another episode of Coding Talks. Myself, Vishnu Viji. In today's episode, I will be talking about a recent feature which is announced by Oracle, which is the multi-cloud feature. This can be think of as a kind of a tight partnership between Oracle and AWS. A kind of a low latency feature which enables customers from Oracle to take advantage of AWS services and vice versa. Previously, AWS customers who want to take advantage of Oracle database had the choice of creating a Oracle database inside the RDS service, which is a managed service. So those of you who are not familiar with RDS service, it's a kind of a relational database service within the AWS. It's a multimodal service where you can create different types of databases. You can create SQL, you can create Oracle, you can create MySQL, Postgres, and so on. And also the different versions of these databases as well. So that way your applications could connect to the RDS Oracle. That was the one approach previously Oracle customers who want to take the AWS system used to do. And some of the Oracle customers who want to use the AWS and at the same time want to have full advantage, means full flexibility with relation to their database. So they have the option to choose. They were having the options to create a EC2 machine. EC2 actually is a kind of a virtual machine which you can create within the AWS. It's kind of a similar model like renting a workstation or a server system from AWS. You have the flexibility to choose different kinds of systems based on your application needs and performance. A lot of flexible options are there, and that way traditional customers were used to create an EC2 instance, and then they used to install the Oracle database inside there. This is not a cost-effective model. The primary reason for being said it's not a cost-effective model is that you have to pay for the EC2 machine, and in addition to that you have to pay for that Oracle license as well. And on top of that you also have to manage the EC2. You have to patch it. So that was not a cost-effective and maintenance-friendly model. So the better approach was like to use a managed service within the RDS, which is the RDS Oracle. So these were the two approaches. In addition to that, some customers were also resorted to some other kind of an approach where they have their services in both the vendors like Oracle, OCP as well as in AWS, and then interconnect through a private link as well. So that way communication was still possible. So this offers the benefits of both the providers, and at the same time they were interconnected through a kind of a low latency system. But actually this is kind of a costly model. So most of the customers were either resorted to the first two models which we were discussed, that is either inside the RDS or maybe inside that EC2 system. So these two approaches, so we can narrow down our discussion on firstly on that two approaches, traditional approaches, and then we can look into this Oracle Multicloud feature. So this same podcast which I am presenting there, so there is a blog also available on my LinkedIn as well as on my community, AWS community blog, where you can find more details about how to configure that and all. So this podcast will give you a good overview about what this service and why customers have to choose this service. So this offers the most flexible as well as low latency service, and which require extremely low latency applications. So such customers can take advantage of this Oracle Multicloud at AWS. So even though I am mentioning this in the context of AWS, based on my understanding, this service is also available within the AWS as well as in the GCP. So almost similar one. So once you understand this, you can understand the other services as well, other providers as well. So let's start with some understanding about some of the limitations that were experienced by the traditional customers. So the main problem the RDS customers were faced is like they have limited access to the specific Oracle versions. Even though Oracle were releasing the versions frequently, they may not be available within the RDS, because RDS is kind of a managed service, and because AWS manages most of the infrastructure and all, they handle the patching, they provide the latest latest available Oracle version, but at the same time they have to consider their security and the compatibility as well. So because of that, the Oracle versions were very limited in RDS previously. Though most of the versions were available, still for some customers at least there were limitations. Then those of the customers, Oracle customers, who want to have more flexibility to access and especially the administrative access within the RDS, they find it very challenge there, because it's a managed service. AWS mostly don't used to give you that full provision. So there were restrictions in terms of that, and advanced Oracle features were not available. So customers who want to take advantage of the advanced Oracle feature either have to install that inside an EC2, and then there and some of the less relevant thing, which is the vendor lock-in. Even though in many talks it's mentioned about the vendor lock-in and all, but it's not a major concern when it comes to an enterprise, because enterprises have partnership with at least on providers, and mostly this may not be a factor in that case actually. Then there are strategies like the multi-cloud, which is getting popular. In case of one cloud vendor goes down, another will have the backup. But other than that, most of the organizations were either tied to one provider, and that will be mostly fine in most of the cases. Then in addition to the RDS level specific constraints, there were also operational limitations as well. So inside the RDS, you had limited backup and recovery options. First of all, this is not a specific session about the limitations of RDS actually. When we discuss about the new feature about the Oracle Multicloud, we were just discussing about some of the limitations that were there inside the traditional RDS system. So the backup and recovery options were very limited. There were restricted performance tuning. And in case of custom patches that Oracle used to deploy, that were not readily available within the system. So that's the reason why recently Oracle partnership with AWS. This was a more recent and a highly anticipated announcement. This was first announced in September 2024 at the Oracle Cloud World. And this Azure already had that partnership, and recently in July 8, 2025, the partnership with AWS also came. So initially, everyone thought to have this like a kind of an interconnection between This Oracle Multicloud feature is a kind of an interconnection between Oracle platform and AWS. Actually, that is not the case. This Oracle database at AWS, this is the this is the feature. This is the exact term used to denote this feature. Oracle database at AWS is actually essentially Oracle's own database hardware, and they called it as Exadata, and they install this physically inside AWS data centers. So it can be think of like an Oracle renting space in Amazon's building to put their specialized database computers and which their customers can then use. So how Oracle achieve this is they ships their own server racks to AWS data centers and sets them in dedicated spaces. These are not normal regular servers. These are Oracle's custom built-in Exadata machines designed specifically for running Oracle databases super fast. So in Exadata, Oracle manages the database software, maintains the hardware, and handles updates and patches. At the same time, to run this, AWS provides the building, power, internet, and physical security. So from a customer standpoint, they get the advantage of both the services. Like they can connect to the Oracle database and same time they can take advantage of AWS services. To give you an example, if you have data in your Oracle database, at the same time you can use the AWS generative AI services like SageMaker, Bedrock, and so on. And the full services is integrated, so there is one bill and one support system as well. So the Oracle database sits in AWS and it connects to the other AWS services through private secure connections. So traditionally, like the previous that we were discussed, there were limitations in choosing either the Oracle Cloud or AWS Cloud, but not together very easily. So with this Oracle at AWS feature, so when I say Oracle at AWS feature, it is a feature actually. That's the technical term or the feature term which we use to denote this specific feature of multi-cloud. So with this Oracle at AWS, the limitations are actually resolved and there will be no latency, network latency between Oracle database and AWS services, as there is a direct AWS network connectivity with a faster data speed. So when we discuss this service, especially about the Oracle Multicloud at AWS, some of the programmers may confuse with regards to the existing service in OCA, which is the fast connect service. So Oracle OCA fast connect, or in AWS also there is a service called AWS direct connect is there. So these are actually different services from the Oracle Multicloud. So Oracle at AWS or the multi-cloud means that the Oracle database stays in Oracle data centers and there is a dedicated network connects directly to AWS services. So it offers the most fast connection. So how you get started with the Oracle database at AWS is, in this case, if you want to take advantage of the Oracle database at AWS, first you have to navigate to the cloud.oracle.com and sign in with your Oracle credentials. So here the difference is you start from the Oracle cloud.oracle.com and then connects to the AWS console, AWS system. So you have to provide details in both the consoles. One is AWS console and one is that Oracle console. So first you have to start with cloud.oracle.com and sign in with your Oracle credentials. You have to select your tenancy or region, and then there's a provision called OCI console, and you have to choose the database. In database you can see different services are there. You can select a service within the OCI as well. That is a different service. Lot of services are there. So those all services were discussed in that Oracle Yatra event. You can also log into cloud.oracle.com and find out all those services. But the specific service which we are discussing currently, which is the Oracle database at AWS, that is a different service which you will get. You can find it there inside that OCI console. So just choose that service and click on create that database. At that time you have to provide your AWS account ID. So now you can understand the relationship. You start from the Oracle console. You created Oracle database at AWS service and created a database, and then you have to provide the AWS account ID. And you have to also provide the AWS region, and this must match with your VPC, virtual private cloud created within the AWS. So in addition to that, AWS connects to the services in a secured way. So because of that, you have to provide the AWS IAM role as well. So this is for the cross account access. So once you've done this, you will then move to the AWS console configuration. So you first start by login to the AWS console, and you create a IAM role for there. You will then configure your VPC and networking, and then you will set up a private link endpoint. So all the details. So this is a podcast, and when I mention about the different configuration screens, it will be difficult for you to figure it out. So there is an accompanying article which I provide in the show notes. You can go through that. So the idea is that you have to provide the you have to set up the details in both the Oracle console as well as in AWS, and there will be some data you have to provide from one service about the one service to in the other screen. So that data helps within the relationship between each other. So this way you can connect, and once this service are created and configured correctly, so it can interconnect. So the main benefit this gets for the Oracle customers is that they will get a good super fast AWS service integration. Previously, like I mentioned, Oracle customers had to either use the RDS based service or the EC2 based Oracle installation. While those were actually a kind of an integration, still they were not up to fast as the Oracle Multicloud features. So especially for customers who want a ultra latency connection and to take the maximum advantage of both the services, then this Oracle Multicloud feature will be a great addition. So it's more super fast than that private link connection between the previously attempted OCI and AWS cloud. So even faster than that private link connection, because in this the Exadata sits inside within the AWS, and through dedicated connection you will get ultra fast low latency. So once integrated this, the Oracle customers will get the AWS good level of AWS service integration. They can create the services, especially the S3 bucket is a one such service, and which can be connected to Oracle integration. They can configure a bucket policies for Oracle Access and configure a VPC endpoint for S3. They can also set up the AWS CloudWatch monitoring and CloudWatch alarms for database connectivity, performance metrics, and storage utilization. So these are specific services within the AWS, and now the integration is actually happening. And also to take advantage of storing the secrets and all, you can use the dedicated service available within the AWS, which is called the AWS Secret Manager, to store database credentials and for automatic rotation as well. So some of the important considerations. Like you have to take advantage of you have to set up the monitoring and the security settings so that only the relevant services should communicate with each other. Also, you have to configure the CloudWatch metrics and alarms so that in case of anything to notify, these services will get notified it immediately. Then finally, when it comes to the billing related information, what you can see in the AWS console is like the billing and cost management, and there the Oracle databases charges appear in the AWS billing, and you can also find, like as we discussed, the Oracle related specific infrastructure metrics and custom metrics will be available in the CloudWatch metrics now because of the integration. Then similar time, the Oracle database can take advantage of the different services in AWS like S3 connection, and more security can be enforced using the IAM roles and service endpoints. So in the AWS console, you won't see any options for creating Oracle specific database creation or managing the Exadata infrastructure management or performance monitoring or backup or recovery options or patching or anything at all. So those all will be managed from the Oracle console. So billing level and other informations related to the metrics, the roles, security access, other services, that will be available from the AWS. So this is kind of can think of as a kind of a partnership between the two services, and also some of the So to summarize, what it's like the across a console, which is actually create the database, scale it, terminate it, and all. So that you will be doing from the Oracle or OCA console. Similarly, any Exadata related infrastructure monitoring and configuration, that also you will be doing it from the Oracle. Performance tuning, backup and recovery management, security and access control, patching and maintenance. These all you will be mainly doing from the Oracle OCA console. And at the same time, anything related to the billing, network configuration, configuration of the VPC subnets or security groups, those all you will be doing that from the AWS console. Similarly, whatever related to the monitoring and the dashboards, those are all you will be configuring that from the CloudWatch dashboards and alarms. Similarly, the security as well, the IAM role and policy management for cross service access, that also you will be defining it from the AWS console. So how the day-to-day operations looks like once this is integrated within an enterprise. So The database management, you will be primarily doing it from the OCI console. Everything related to the billing and the cost monitoring, that will be done from the AWS console. And sometimes for the application integration, I mean the first time application integration, you have to resort to both the consoles. Then performance monitoring is actually primarily done through OCI console, and the CloudWatch for infrastructure metrics and monitoring. The key point here is that Oracle database at AWS is an Oracle managed service that happens to run in AWS data centers. So the primary management interface remains Oracle, with the AWS console providing integration and billing feasibility. So to get more details about how this is configured and how to configure this, what specific options you have to provide and all, you can refer the documentation. In addition to that, you can also refer the blog to get a more view of that. So with that, we can wind up this episode. Thanks everyone for tuning into this podcast. We will come up with another episode.